Okay, so the last section you got some good practice in using QGIS and for the case of making a randomly sampled mesh. So in this section, let's take a quick look. Remember we had the original shapefile of the 120 points that were used. Now what I want to do is look at the field survey results and also some of the photos and some of the other things that were collected. So first, please go to Field Survey Data. This is an input data folder here, Field Survey Data, and inside here there's an Excel file that ends with the word cleaned. So if you open that up in Excel or OpenOffice or whatever program you're using for spreadsheets, you'll notice that you've got 4 tabs on the bottom, Section A, B, C, and D. Section A has some general information. It has a listing of each mesh's individual or unique ID, I should say, that goes from 3 down to 123, so there's 120 of those. It tells the start date for the surveys that were done in the field. This was in the last week or so of July in 2015. Who did it? It also has some geographical information, namely the country, well, Philippines, of course, province name, municipality, barangay names. And over here we also have the sampled pixel information. They are all 40,000 square meters. That's 200 by 200 meters squared. The center latitude and longitude, and then some other contact information for local leaders. Section B is where the actual results are that we'll be using. And if you look here, you've got a mesh ID, the unique ID. The enumerators go to the field and they see well, first of all, they ask, is there any mesh, any rice in this mesh with their eyes? And they don't see any, that's a 2. If there is, it's a 1. Then the next question is the mesh a mixel or not? So does it have more than just rice in it? This is quite common, of course. And then the next question is, if so, what percent, apparently, just on the first impression, visual impression is rice. So in this one, 10% only. And then later on, if you do a better calculation, it ends up being 12.5%. And then very importantly here, we've got this very nice section here for rice areas and then for non-rice areas. But for rice areas, what stage is the rice at? So in this case, for this mesh, it was in the growing vegetative stage. If we look here where we've got some non-rice, part of this was also land not used for cultivation or other, partly forest, partly trees. And if you see the pictures, which I'll show you later, you'll get a better grasp of what these different land use classifications mean. So this is the spreadsheet, and this is the product of many people's work over many days period. And it's going to be very, very useful for us in Module 5 to tune our threshold values. But right now, let me take you and show you very briefly just in general, the meshes that existed here. If you look through here, you'll see well, this is a good one to look at, I think. The random mesh was made, and each mesh was zoomed in to a certain size in Google Earth, and then a screenshot was taken. And then the unique number was given, and these slides were made. I think they're stored as PDFs. We're going to look at that in a second. And, a lot of these have what appear to be rice in them. This one, I'd say almost 100%. And then there's other ones. Well, this is mostly river, maybe some rice here. And the main point, of course, is that when this image that is appearing in Google Earth was taken, yes, these do indeed appear to be probably rice fields, given the area. However, things change, and this image may not be from the time that the Pulsar 2 images were taken. So you need to go to the field and check it out. However, these are very nice, and this is a really good example. The enumerators will go by car usually. They'll pull over right here. They'll take some pictures, as much as they can of this area here, and then get a much better idea for how much of this area is actually under rice cultivation, how much of it is, this plantation or something else, or road, whatever. So rice and so on. You get the idea. A lot of this area is rice. It is the bread basket or the rice basket of the Philippines. And there are areas that aren't rice, like the forest here. Okay, so each of those is uniquely identified by a mesh ID. And this spreadsheet will have all the results in it. So before the results got into the spreadsheet in here, you can find the raw data in this field survey photo. This is very interesting. If you open this up, let's see, which one should we look at? Oh, I don't know. Let's see. Let's find one that has a good amount of rice. Okay, sorry, I was scrolling through here finding some good ones here. So 85277. Let's look and see how that looks. 85277. Double click on that. And inside the field survey photo area, you've got three main things, I would say. First of all, you've got this. Let me click on these two here. Open that up, and you'll see what I was just showing you, the sort of the template for the field survey. And then there's a questionnaire, 3 pages right here. Let's open these up. This has the information that was input by the team that was in the field. And this is summarized in the spreadsheet that we were just looking at. And there's 3 pages of that. I won't go through each page. You can do that on your own. And then there are pictures which help you support or understand. Let me rotate. Why the determination was made the way it was. So here, this is an area that's not very rice looking right here. They walk around the mesh, they take pictures from different parts of it, and again, same issue here. So it ends up that this mesh, if we look one more time here, most of it was not rice. Maybe there's just a little bit here. And that ended up being, in the total here, 10%. First visual inspection, it ended up being only 6.3 of rice. Let's look at one that is 100% rice. How about right here, 88544, and let's see what that looks like. This is, and it also says the growing vegetative stage. So 88544. 88544. If we look at the Google Earth image, yeah, there's annotations on here. This is pretty much all rice. There may be a tree. There's a little bit of a road. There's a little, some sort of structure right there. But if you look at some of the pictures, rotate, that's rice. And there's just other photos in here, and you can look through these if you like, and you get the general idea. This is what's going on. And they classified this one as being in the growing vegetative stage. So that is right here. Okay, so that's definitely, from the Pulsar 2 perspective, this is definitely in the growing stage. Okay, that's basically all there is to the survey. It obviously takes a lot of work to get this information. It's something very valuable. It's something that we'll be making use of in Module 5 to tune the threshold values. So this section B right here, we'll be coming back to this shortly.